reasons for wanting to create a network sitcom and specifically shining a light on teachers. But when you reflect on where Abbott started and kind of where it is now, how do you feel about that?
Oh man, it's amazing. We actually just had so many moments as a cast recently because we just wrapped our 3rd season this week. Woo! I was just sitting there talking to Tyler and looking out at my crew and my cast on the Warner Brothers backlot. And we filmed the pilot episode in a school in West Adams. And to go from having to, use these small real classrooms to now having multiple corners of the Warner Brothers lot, it's just wild to see where we are now. And we had a wrap party last night and we were celebrating, and it warmed my heart. We still have most of our crew from season 1, which is really hard to do. But those people really enjoy working there, as do we. And on top of all of that great work stuff, we have an incredible audience who loves our show. And we are just so grateful for all of your support, for your continued watching of the show, continuing to make it a ratings hit. But it just warms my heart that you guys enjoy it. And that's all you can ask for 3 seasons in, is that people are still enjoying it.
I want to get some comments from the cast as well about joining in season 1 and what your expectations were for where Abbott was going to go and where it has ended up.
When I first came in, when we shot the pilot, there was a moment in the pilot, I think, when we're carrying the rugs and having done a good amount of TV before this, it felt special, it felt unique, it felt like, I remember I turned to Cheryl and I was like, you feel that, don't you? Like, we're gonna be here for a while. So there was already this sense of, we were kind of on the precipice of something really special, but even in the midst of that, I don't think you can fully prepare for the whirlwind that's been the last 2.5 years. I don't like, it feels like the pilot was simultaneously last week and 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It does feel like.
But I think that's, I think it just speaks to the strength of how TV affects people in their lives, and network TV and where it can be, specifically network comedies and how they resonate with people. We couldn't really anticipate this growth even in the wildest dreams.
When we shot the pilot, for me, coming in as a guest star, I shot it on video. I had to tape it. I'm old, I say tape. Because of COVID. And, you kind of throw it out there and you're like, okay, am I gonna get it? And I got the call. They asked me to dance.
Oh my goodness.
And they said, see you on the set. So I was like, okay, but it was great. It does seem like it was like 8 years ago. Yeah, it seemed like a long time ago.
We didn't even use that. You dancing in the pilot. That got cut.
Break dance and spin.
Yeah, he did a head spin.
We'll need those blooper reels. What about you, Chris?
I just feel like it's still kind of surreal to me. I'm like, here we are, we've now done 3 seasons, but I don't know. As an actor, I feel like you get very used to things not working out. You have to sort of, my actors in the room, like you have to sort of guard yourself against disappointment. And so, and it's only been working on the show that I feel like I've realized the amount of miracles that have to happen for something to work, and for it to work well, and for you to have the right crew and the right actors that you trust. It's truly astonishing, and so it still doesn't feel real, I feel like.
Quinta, I remember at the Emmys in January, you said that your dream guest stars were in the season 3 premiere, and I had no idea who it could be, and then it was the Philadelphia Eagles, which is just insane. And I wondered how you could possibly ever one-up that, and then you did with Bradley Cooper. So I would just wonder what you think of just being able to wrangle those guest stars in this 3rd season, and if you have any aspirations for who else could appear in Abbott.
With the Eagles was very, that was that was cool because, you know, this is where you get cool exclusive stuff. But like, Jalen Hurts had reached out multiple times and been like, I love this show. Like, my family watches this show. I'd love to be on this show. So when we were like, okay, like, all right. That was when we were in the middle, that was when we were doing our second season, and it was like, we don't have, thank you for telling us, but we didn't have anything for him, anything organic. We really do try to make organic things happen. So season 3 premiere, I knew that, you know, I wanted something special, and the Eagles are very special to me as a Philadelphian, and I, you know, remember Jalen had been, yes. And then I knew Jalen and wanted to be a part of it, so we were like, oh, let's write Jalen this part. We knew we wanted to have the Eagles there to help Melissa in the proposal, but then they were like, well, we got some other guys for you. Jason Kelsey wants to be in it, and Brandon Graham, and I was like, oh my, this is incredible. It was an embarrassment of riches. They were just incredible. They were in the middle of their season, but they took the time to film that. We sent one of our ADs to Philly to help them do it over Zoom. We didn't want to make it hard for them, so it wound up being on Zoom. And for Bradley, Bradley was like another one where I was just like, oh, wait, we have Bradley Cooper? Okay, I guess, what do we do with Bradley Cooper? But Bradley was actually incredible because we talked for weeks leading up to it about what he could do. He's a Philly boy, so it wasn't far-fetched to have him be in the neighborhood. But, you know, someone like Bradley Cooper, it would have felt weird for him to come play a character in our world, honestly. Like, he's a movie star. He looks like one, he talks like one, it just would have been weird. So it was better for him to play himself. And it was just, we wanted something splashy after the Oscars as a student of comedies or TV after a big event. You want to have a big splashy cold open so that people who've never seen your show before decide to keep it on. And Bradley being a part of that was incredible. A funny thing he told me was that, or he showed me on his phone that David Fincher was texting him like, man, you're in this show. And then David Fincher just kept watching the whole episode. And that's what you want. You want to make a good splashy cold open, so I guess David Fincher keeps watching your show.
Tyler, Chris, or Stan, do you have any dream guest stars still that you'd love to see on Abbott?
You're asking this question after we just shot season 3, which is chock full of, like, there was one day we were looking at the call sheet, and there was 17 characters in one scene. So at this point, I don't even want to speculate, because I'm assuming if they're supposed to be there, they'll be there. And I've gotten enough messages of people asking me to pass the message along that I don't need any more of that. I just don't.
I would say before, we've been most excited. Like, Josh Segarra, who joined us this season as Manny, has been incredible. That, like, it's been people like Cree Summer, who joined for as our librarian, as our Abbott librarian, Tatiana Ali. It's been really exciting to have those people in the room with us, just being a part of our world. That to me is the most exciting guest casting.
One of the things about doing a comedy set in a school is that it is year-round and things do happen every year that you kind of have to revisit. And I was reading the log line for the next episode, and Ava Fest is coming back. And I wonder how you kind of brainstorm how to make those things that you've already introduced into the show new again and make them feel fresh for the audience.
Oh, that's a good question. I think we trust the world that we have built. We trust that the people who know the show are going to be there, and any new faces, you know, they're gonna say, oh, Ava Fest is a thing, I guess. Let me get on board. If they're watching the show for the first time and everybody's okay with Ava Fest, I guess I'm okay with Ava Fest too. So I just always try to trust the world that we've built, and that's like my main objective.
Chris, I wanted to ask you, one of my favorite parts about Jacob is his physical comedy, especially in this last episode on Thursday. It's just off the charts, and I wonder how you just manifest that on set and kind of get into character in such a physical way.
I don't know. I feel like it can partly be chalked up to, like, that's just how I work. You know, I went to a very movement-based drama school, and that's just kind of like how I make it real for myself. I'd have to say it's more about kind of the air on set is very improvisatory, and it feels like anything could happen. You know, the show, as it comes to us, is usually the best version of it, and we are not, you know, writing our own jokes on the spot, but it feels very much, because there are 3 cameras going at all times, that like we can do anything. And yeah, I'm there now to just sort of like tickle myself and try and make these guys break. And so I'm just trying to have fun.
It's always going to be a curveball.
Yes.
It keeps you in, you've got to be in the moment, on your toes with him. 'Cause that's-
So in this last episode, in this last episode on Thursday, we kind of leave in this moment where Janine has a big decision to make, and I'm wondering if you can say just a little bit about how she's gonna navigate that journey and figure out what's best for her.
You can say what it is.
No.
No, I don't think I can say. You have to watch the show. Abbott Elementary, Wednesdays on ABC.
No, I get it. Well, yeah, I get it. Well, Stan, I was wondering if there's something that you'd like to see from Mr. Johnson that we haven't gotten to see yet. Something of Mr. Johnson that we haven't gotten to see yet of his character.
There's a lot that you haven't seen yet. They just haven't put it in the show yet. I mean, you know, the show, people ask me all the time about when are they gonna, I think my character's established, and we got 21 and a half minutes to shoot a show that has 7 main characters in it. So, you know, I get in where I fit in, but they're gonna reveal more about Mr. Johnson. You know.
All right now.
Well, the show has already been renewed for season 4. How does it feel to get such an early renewal? And also, when do you start thinking about what that season's gonna look like?
It felt incredible. We were renewed before the premiere even aired. It was such a comforting feeling to just know that you know, ABC trusts us in that way and supports the show. And as far as thinking about season 4, I mean, I was already thinking about season 4 during season 1, and it never stops for me. I mean, my brain's on fire currently, figuring out, you know, I have this concept, if you see it, fine, if you don't, you don't, because the room is against it, but I just was thinking about the storyline in my head for Jacob, where everyone thinks he can't read, he just needs glasses, but it's like, it's just something, these are the things that are always happening in my head. I am listening, I'm here, I'm present. I'm always thinking about it.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.